attitude makes the difference. This is what we believe in at DIEMS and say, let us rise above the rest. In pursuance of excellence in the field of technical education, the Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, one of the leading educational trusts imparting quality education to more than 1 lakh students every year, entered the field of professional education on its Golden Jubilee celebration in the name of the Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies, Aurangabad. Started with 300 students in 2009, it has grown to over 3,000 students offering technical and management education with ultra-modern infrastructure and facilities. It is recognized amongst the top 100 private engineering institutes across India by Times Engineering, which is a Times of India initiative. The institute is approved by the AICTE, accredited by NAC, and affiliated to the Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, Raigad, Maharashtra. The institute offers an industry-oriented syllabus, internship from the first year itself, gives a choice of open electives from the second year and 6 months of industrial training in the final year, enabling students to develop knowledge as per industrial requirements. The institute offers the BTech and MTech courses in various disciplines like mechanical engineering, electronics and telecommunication engineering, civil engineering, computer science and engineering, as well as a master's in business administration. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. Creative learning, personal attention, individual counseling and valuable guidance open up a world of new ideas which infuse the motivated students and staff with positive energy and creative thoughts. This can be expressed as a unique equation. DIEMS is equal to discipline plus academics plus placements. Why DIEMS? There are more than 40 spacious and well-ventilated classrooms which provide a healthy environment for innovative classroom learning. More than 60 well-equipped laboratories with best-in-class equipments meet not only the requirements of the syllabi, but they are also intended to give practical experience to the students. The students here enjoy the fun of performing various scientific experiments. Playing with various circuit components and seeing how they work in real time is the best way to learn. Competent teachers demonstrate the experiments in the labs and the students get opportunities to explore inside and beyond the classrooms. These labs provide the facilities for performing practicals on the related concepts on each subject. There are updated software and equipment for the different subjects. Here, the future engineers experiment with, test and prove theorems. Every laboratory aims to prepare students with the knowledge and ability to improve, evaluate, design and control sustainable and cost-effective technologies in order to make innovative and useful contributions to humanity. In order to ensure that the students are well aware of the required industrial standards, not just theoretically but also in practice, we at DIEMS have a fully equipped central workshop. Here, the students are not only informed about the various stages in the making of a job, but they also get a chance to perform all these jobs on the shop floor. The students complete their projects in the workshop for vehicle manufacturing and assembling of parts. Here, we make sure that our future engineers never miss out on the finest details regarding the various elements of manufacturing. The Institute's library is enveloped in a serene atmosphere. It has a spacious reading room and serves the students and the faculty with more than 30,000 reference books, periodicals, magazines, newspapers and journals. Our digital library provides the students with online books and e-journals, articles, video lectures, manuals and many more. It also provides updates, study material and databases on a large scale, all of which support the academic curriculum of students. Our students enjoy the facility of an elegant seminar hall for conducting guest lectures, training programs and technical events. The spacious conference room is outfitted with presentation technology for conducting conferences, meetings and presentations. To meet the requirement of activity-based programs, short-term training programs and technical workshops, 2 distinct seminar halls have been provided. Understanding the dynamics of industrial expectation at the national and international levels, this year the students have been trained by companies like TCS, Techrel and Barclays. The highest number of job offers was achieved in 2019, with offers from companies like Byju's, Wipro Technologies, Reliance Jio, Atlas Copco India Limited, Dhoot Transmission, Jaro Education, Hire, Sintel and many others. The highest compensation package offered was 9 lakh rupees per annum. The girls as well as boys hostels of DIEMS is located in a safe and secure campus, and it is indeed a new home away from home. Strict rules are followed and discipline is not compromised. The mess is a great place where food is cooked to perfection and where the homemade flavors and tastes and affordable prices are a hit with the hostelites. Well, the canteen is the favorite place for the students to relax from their hectic schedules. It is also the best place for students to mingle in groups. We encourage our students to excel not just in academics but also in sports. Situated in the center of our campus is a vast, lush green playground where students can bring out the athlete in them. Under the NSS activity, the students take concrete steps to discharge their social responsibility by performing various activities like organizing tree plantation drives and blood donation camps, check dam construction and conducting street plays. The institute has also adopted a village, Sultanpur, under this initiative and are educating the local people every year about critical subjects like water conservation, environmental awareness and child education. The college frequently takes the students on industrial visits to various companies with the objective of providing them exposure to real-world problems and inculcate a practical approach. More than 500 industrial visits have been arranged so far. DIEMS has a strong network with the corporate sector, professionals and industrial experts and regularly hosts expert talks with the noble intention of keeping the students updated with the latest trends and practices in the industry. More than 350 expert talks have been arranged annually. As a part of Industry Institute interaction, 102 of our students worked in the industry on 34 live projects under GIZ initiative. To develop the students' sometimes enigmatic personalities, there are 20 active clubs in the institute. The Devgiri Cycling Club has completed an arduous expedition from Jammu to Kanyakumari, giving the message "Save the Girl Child," and another expedition from Aurangabad to Bhutan, which had the message "A Pollution-Free Asia." The Red Hat Academy helps students differentiate themselves by providing enterprise-ready Linux and open-source advanced training, which develops skills that are in demand. More than 150 students have been certified so far, and more than 50 students have got jobs in open-source technologies. Show 2019 was a one-of-a-kind exhibition project in which the projects were prepared by first-year engineering students under the course Engineering Exploration. These students generated 35 great ideas, worked on 12 need statements and developed 60 projects along with the final year students who exhibited their lab-to-land projects. More than 6,000 visitors visited this mega event. Recently, the institute had organized the flagship 4th International Conference on Computing in Engineering and Technology. Here, researchers, engineers and scientists from around the world participated and presented their research papers, which were published in the AISC series of Springer. The institute is well known for its dazzling academic records. The students have brought glory to the institute with consistent performances in the university exams by securing top ranks in the merit list and setting new benchmarks every year. We have excelled with flying colors in technical events as well. Team Dynamic Boosters won the General Championship in the Student Kart Design Challenge Season 2, held at Hyderabad, and also stood second runner-up in the Bharat Formula National Level Go-Kart Championship held at Coimbatore in March 2019. The all-girls team Tejaswini got the Best Cost-Effective Report Award and Visionary Award in the Saur Urja Vehicle Challenge held in March 2019. Recently, Team Bhumiputra won the Best Innovation Award for the Onion Harvester in the event Tiffan, organized by SAE India. A college is marked by its multifaceted cultural events that include its annual social gathering. Eminent personalities from the civil services and the industry are invited as chief guests, and they are invariably a great source of inspiration to the youngsters. The festival includes various events where the students are given a unique platform to think, step forward, and showcase their talents. This event has its own color and is very unique in its own way. This year too, we celebrated Quasars 2019 with the unique theme of patriotism, dedicated to the brave Indian soldiers who sacrificed their lives during the Pulwama attack. Financial support of 5 lakh rupees was given to the families of the martyrs. DIEMS, providing education ingrained with moral and social values to bring out the youth as professional and responsible citizens with character and humility beyond compare. DIEMS, an institute where the sky is not the limit, and so we say, let us rise above the rest.
Hello, my name is Vinayak Poddar and I am from Computer Science Department. I recently got placed in Byju's Think and Learn Private Limited through the campus placement drives. So along with the technical education, the social skills also need to be developed equally. And for this, the college has been striving hard by keeping events such as Inspire Talks, because of which the students are getting more connected to the industry and the industry people. So thank you Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies for providing me with such a great opportunity to me and all my friends.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaishnavi Solunke and I am a computer science graduate from Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies. Today I am placed in ASP OL Media Private Limited and the credit for this goes to the college. The college conducted aptitude trainings and soft skill programs for the students, and I feel proud and privileged to be a part of DIEMS family. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Duip Kohli from Mechanical Department and I am from Bombay. I have selected this institute because of its unique features like the mentor-mentee scheme, which develops a strong bond between the students and the teachers. And at the same time, it also allowed me to participate in various competitive events, and also it given me the opportunity to participate and be shortlisted in various multinational companies like John Deere and Cummins.
Hello, I am Swati Kakade, pass out from DIEMS, currently working in a Microsoft as an associate consultant in data and AI, and I would like to thank DIEMS for their cooperation and support.
Hello everyone, my name is Aditya Konarde. I am a site reliability engineer at Red Hat, Germany. I am a computer science engineering graduate from DIEMS with the batch of 2017, and I thank the college for their continued support and engagement.
I am Purnima Zalte. I am civil engineer passed out from DIEMS. I am currently working as environmental health and safety officer in L&T construction in water division. And I thanks DIEMS for their valuable inputs, support and guidance.
Hello, this is Yogesh Gawande, BE Mechanical from 2018 batch. I have started my own startup company when I was in second year in DIEMS. I would like to say that DIEMS is a very good institute for aspiring engineering students. It has all the facilities to meet the needs of students. I am thankful to management and DIEMS family. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Saili from BECSC 2018 batch. Currently, I'm working as Associate Quality Engineer at Red Hat Bangalore. I would like to say that the institute has been very supportive and has played a phenomenal role in my success. I would like to thank the DIEMS family and feel immensely proud that I got a chance to be a part of it.
We can start.
Okay. Shall I share my presentation now?
So wait, I'll first give introduction.
Sure.
A very good morning to one and all. I hope all are taking good care of themselves and are safe and healthy. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar on cyber security for all. My name is Amrita Joshi from Computer Science and Engineering Department, DIEMS Aurangabad. I welcome our eminent speaker, Mr. Sandeep Vadje, respected director, Dr. Ullas Shurkar sir, respected HOD, Professor Sanjay Kalyankar sir, respected HODs of all the departments, faculty members, and all participants for this event organized by Computer Science and Engineering Department, Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies, Aurangabad. Today we are presenting the topic which is a need of society and time, that is cybersecurity for all, which will be presented by Mr. Sandeep Vadje. Cybersecurity refers to the use of network architecture, software, and other technologies to protect organizations and individuals from cyber attacks. The objective of cybersecurity is to prevent or mitigate harm or destruction of computer networks, applications, devices, and data. Before I request Dr. Ullas Shurkar to address the participants, I feel immense pleasure to introduce him. Dr. Ullas Shurkar has been the director of DIMS since the inception, that is 2009. The institute has achieved a remarkable position in a very short span due to his dynamic leadership. He holds a doctorate degree and is a prominent academician in engineering with 34 years of experience in the education and industry sector. He is a member of Academic Council of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, and an active member on various committees of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Sir has achieved many awards and recognition in his career, such as Seva Gaurav Award by Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal in 2014, Engineering Watch Edupreneur Award 2013 for impressive contribution to engineering education, Dronacharya Award by Lions Club Aurangabad in 2012, Guruvarya Award by Rotary Club Aurangabad in 2011. He also holds many patents and published more than 25 research papers in reputed journals and has authored 3 books. Having such a leader is truly inspirational for all of us. I request our director, sir, to preamble the session. Sir, please.
Amrita, a very good morning to all of you. My friend, Mr. Sandeep Vadje, Professor Kalyankar, all my colleagues, the participants. Today I am really very happy that Computer Science Department has organized this webinar on careers in cybersecurity, which is going to be a hot cake, or rather it is a hot cake today. And what is my request to all of you, as we are in the teaching faculty, kindly pass down, because I'm very sure whatever the Sandeep is going to deliver for the next 1.5 hours will be a good takeaway for all of us. But whatever the knowledge you are getting today, you have to pass down to your student that it should be information. If you convert this into an information, definitely many of our students may think for developing their career in cybersecurity. Sandeep belongs to the son of soil from Aurangabad. We are friends from last so many years. And I think he passed on from Usmanabad College. Am I right, Sandeep? See, this is the thing.
That's correct.
If you want to make a career, that whether the play, what is our problem here? I'm in Aurangabad, I'm at Parbhani, I'm at like this. It doesn't make any difference because the world is too small. I'm always listening about Sandeep through Sanjay Kalyankar sir regarding his work, his development, and so on. I'm really happy. Yes, somebody from my family is doing this. So thank you, Sandeep, to be with us.
Thank you.
Definitely, I don't want to be the buffer between the participants and you. I wish you all the best for the future. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. Moving right along with today's webinar, we are pleased to have our guest, Mr. Sandeep Vadje. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Sandeep Vadje, for this webinar. Mr. Sandeep Vadje is basically from Aurangabad and is currently Global Head of ICT Risk Intelligence at BNP Paribas, based in London. Sir has over 20 plus years of experience in cybersecurity, predominantly focused on financial services, telecom, oil, and gas industry. Sir has consistently worked with CXO stakeholders to deliver large strategic security transformation projects in Fortune 500 companies. Sandeep sir's current focus areas includes cyber threat intelligence, cloud security, insider threat, and technology risk analytics. Now I cordially invite Mr. Sandeep Wadje to take the charge of the session. One request to participants.
Amruta
Yes,
madam,
sir.
just I
Yes, sir.
will like to speak for 2 minutes. You have
Yes,
given
sir.
his
Sure.
professional biodata resume. Since I and Mr. Sandeep were childhood friends, I know him since last odd 30-35 years. Whatever you have mentioned in his professional resume, I would like to add something which will be useful for students typically. See, Sandeep is a very passionate reader, right? He likes to read the books from different categories a lot since our childhood, and we used to discuss many things, right? A core hard worker, as mentioned by Director Dr. Ullas Shurkar, pass out from Terna Engineering College, Usmanabad, quite a remote place, right? He is basically B electronics and telecommunication engineer. In his early days, he has struggled a lot. I have seen his struggle. He is the pioneer in the establishment of software technology parks of India in Aurangabad. Under his leadership, he has helped many IT companies of Aurangabad to grow by providing the required infrastructure for them, right? So the thing that I would like to I have learned from Sandeep is there is only one option for hard work, that is work hard. Whatever the position he is enjoying today is the outcome of his very immense hard work that he has done in his initial period of life. So I request all the students to please remember this, right? No doubt, right now he is handling a very tough job today. In our unofficial discussion, he is again behind something to solve one problem regarding cyber attack, right? And as far as the job market is concerned, no doubt Sandeep is going to tell you about that. But there are many openings in cyber security. Skilled persons are required. So in this pandemic situation, it's a very golden opportunity for you all to grab this particular opportunity. Thank you. Sandeep, over to you. You can start.
One request I want to do with participants. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. We will try to cover all the questions at the end of the webinar in question answer session. Over to you, Sandeep sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Shurkar sir. Thank you, Sanju. I really appreciate this opportunity. The whole idea today is almost like looking into my own experience, expertise, whatever I have done in the last couple of years in the field of cybersecurity, and share that with everyone, just to kind of little bit give a broader perspective. It's almost like from my personal perspective, it's my way of giving back to the community, and then see that there is a clear perspective and view on what's cybersecurity, what career options are available, how can you pursue your goals. And it's not just the technology expertise, there are other aspects as well. So what I wanted to do today was almost like cover certain basics, and then of course I'll try to make this more interactive in terms of having some kind of a healthy time for question and answers, because I'm sure there are a lot of questions on this topic. It's quite an interesting topic, to be honest. So I'm just sharing my presentation. Amruta, just to be sure, can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please, can you make it full screen?
Hold on. Let me just do that. Is it better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay, sir.
So before, I think, spending a lot of time into the topic of cybersecurity, career opportunities, what potentially from an individual perspective one can do, I wanted to almost like zoom into the basics, just like a very high level overview of what's going on. And then you see a lot of mentions on media. So I think there is a good knowledge of particularly in terms of the media coverage, what's going on. But I also wanted to go a little bit like into what is driving these cyber threats, what is driving the cyber attacks that we keep hearing about, and what is kind of the source of it, what is the motivation for a lot of these attacks. So one is, and then I'll try to be a little bit more interactive in terms of, focus on each area. So there is nation-state attacks, which is like quite motivated from a geopolitical context. And there are obviously, and I'm not going to take specific names, but there are nations who want to almost like go after intellectual property or the advancements in science that other countries have done, and then try to steal that data. So there is a lot of geopolitical goals, stay ahead in the competition. The good topic would be vaccine research that's going on. So there is a lot of competition to steal somebody's data so that you can have a COVID-19 vaccine. But it's not just that. There are other issues as well. Specifically, if we look into countries such as Iran or North Korea, they have got financial sanctions from United Nations, US government, and then they don't have source of money essentially to run their country's government. So what they do from a nation state perspective is then they are looking into alternate source of revenue. And then, for example, the recent spike in cyber ransomware attacks can be a good example. A lot of that can also be linked to some of these nation state actors for whom almost like it's another source of income from a national perspective. So nation states are also kind of a big channel of what we see in terms of cyber attacks happening today. The second one is cyber criminals, and there are a lot of kind of examples of it. I can give layman examples is in terms of business email compromise. A good example is I have seen this happening in India as well. You get an email from your building contractor saying there is a payment due for your house, and then you don't check that email. You think it's a genuine email. You make the payment, and you realize you made a payment to the wrong person. That's essentially when your email channel is compromised, and someone is essentially taking over to direct payment to a third source. So that happens a lot as well. So particularly from a cyber criminals perspective, money making using the IT channels has been like a good driver for them for the last couple of years. There are, of course, activists, those who are fueled by ideology. For them, they just want to almost like highlight what's wrong in terms of a government or a nation's approach or a society's viewpoint on a particular issue. And then activities just want to make their remark. So they may want to launch like a denial of service attack to take a particular website or a service down. They may hack a website and just leave a message there in terms of making their views clear. So hacktivism is also like fueling a lot of these attacks that go on in the industry today. The next one is the terrorist groups. Of course, it's a lot ideologically driven in terms of violence. So we see a lot of forums on the open web, also as they call it, on the deep and dark web, in terms of promoting terrorism, trying to recruit people, and almost for terrorist groups as well. If you look at the link, then doing the cyber crime business is also another way of getting money to launch attacks. So terrorist groups, even though their prime motivation is ideological violence, they are also looking into cyber crime as an opportunity to make money, because that's what essentially allows them to kind of create their infrastructure. The next one is thrill seekers. In technical term, we can say script kiddies, or whoever, someone is just like hands-on on the computer and wants to test their skills and just, for the sake of it, see if you can hack into somebody's system. That's more like driven by satisfaction. And the large-scale impact of such thrill seekers is not that much, but still, they do essentially cause issues. And then the last one is insiders, which is becoming a big focus in recent years. We got cases where discontent or disgruntled employees or third-party suppliers who are not happy for whatever reason. Maybe they had a bad appraisal, maybe they have had some financial situations. But insiders trying to essentially steal data from the organizations or committing fraud has gone up as well a lot in last couple of years. So I just wanted to kind of cover the basics of what drives people to launch cyber attacks, what essentially kind of, is the motivation for a lot of people. Why? Because a lot of people ask that question, why do we see so many cyber attacks? What drives them? And then I just wanted to kind of cover those basics, just going by some of these motivations and what these groups are. So once that is clear, we can like little bit look into who is at risk, and then that questions like comes a lot as well. And almost everyone, from my perspective as a cybersecurity professional, anything that is a source of data, anything that is source of identity information, personally identifiable information, or anything that is almost like a supply chain to launch the actual cyber attack. So it can be anything. It can be a computer that is sitting at your home, not protected, for someone to take over and launch a DDoS attack on a website to take that website down. So for a cyber criminal, everything is an asset, and then it depends on whether the asset has the information they want to steal, or the asset has then some purpose to launch another attack. And then when you look at the risks, is everybody is at risk, and then we have seen that a lot. And again, I think just to quote some example, and again I'm just going to quote publicly known examples. In the oil and gas segment, there was an attack on a oil company in Saudi Arabia, where the attacker essentially did not steal the data, but damaged 10,000 hard disks, essentially making their endpoint infrastructure almost like obsolete or useless in one day. Imagine now a company having to procure 10,000 hard disks to replace in their desktop computers in just like 1 week. So of course, there was a significant business disruption to that oil and gas company. Same goes on for retail business, which is kind of attraction to the cyber criminals, particularly in the retail business. You got your credit cards, you have the point of sale terminals that are used in the retail segment. You got your mobile applications or e-banking portals, particularly connected to your banks or building societies, as we call that in the UK. And then that essentially also is a source to commit financial fraud. Critical infrastructure is also kind of becoming quite an attention point. It can be your nuclear power site. It can be your power generation facilities. It can be the internet backbone of your country as well. So a lot of this is almost like is at risk. And in short, everybody is at risk. Anyone that holds potential in terms of information, a source of people's identities that can be compromised. Telecommunication companies is a very good example because telecommunication companies, they process a lot of information of individuals when they register a customer. And then the customer relationship management system in a telecom company is a huge favorite of hackers because that gives you like pinpointed information of where an individual lives, their mobile number, their date of birth, and that's good enough to commit fraud. So the telecommunication company itself is not probably going to result in some financial fraud, but the mere fact that they hold that information, they become a good target as well. And then for a nation state, telecommunication companies are also good target for interception. So if I'm able to get into a carrier kind of a network or backbone of a telecommunication company in India, I can virtually spy on the whole population. So the interests are different. So if a nation state, they look at telecommunication companies, here is my opportunity to spy on the people. For cyber criminals, they look at telecommunication company, here is my source of identity and the information that I can use to commit further fraud. So the motivation will define how these attacks are carried out. Critical infrastructure, maybe for a terrorist group, it's a much better idea to disrupt the power infrastructure, creating much more impact in terms of, giving their ideological message. So just to cover, I think pretty much everyone is at risk. And then just to reemphasize, anything that essentially is a source of identity for the hacker, the source of data, and essentially an asset that can be used to launch the further attack is at risk. I just wanted to, in terms of my, again, going further on career pathways on cybersecurity, I wanted to cover almost like the domains and take everyone through a little bit through each role. This is illustrative. This is not like the definite view of how a cybersecurity career should look like. I can, in the end of this presentation, I definitely plan to take everyone through my own career journey, what kind of education I went for, and things like that. But if we look into the career pathways, particularly in terms of cybersecurity that are available to individuals, and when I say individuals, it's anyone. It can be a student. You can be a non-technical person. You can be an IT professional. Gives opportunity for anyone to transition to cybersecurity, to be honest. And again, I'll focus on my own experiences in this area. But if you look into the core domains, and then I'll spend more time on each domain as well as to kind of what's fundamentally kind of broken or wrong in each area. But it would essentially come down to 4 or 5 areas. This again, the list is not like exhaustive, just kind of to give some perspective. So IT networking, telecommunications, computer networking is in a good area to start with in terms of the foundational domain that you can build on. Software development is also an area where there is a lot that needs to be done. I can specifically focus on certain use cases on software development. How does kind of cybersecurity come into picture? Systems engineering, how essentially you do like architecture and engineering of a system, build like a resilient system. For example, payment systems is a good one. or the trading systems which are used by the stock exchanges can be a good one. Risk analysis or risk assessment is an area as well. And then the last one is the threat intelligence or security intelligence, as you may want to kind of call it. So I can zoom into each area a little bit to give a perspective of how that spans in terms of entry level, mid level, or advanced career opportunity. So if you look into networking as an area, that's fascinating opportunities, and then there are a lot of certifications or entry level information or education available in networking as a topic. It comes down to interconnection of systems, and I'm not going to get too basic, but there are courses from Microsoft, there are courses from Cisco, particularly around networking of systems. And when that happens, there is obviously an opportunity on how that can be designed, how that can be architected. So from a networking perspective, you can be a little bit entry level, be a specialist, then go on to become a consultant, and then go on to become a cybersecurity architect. So that's how kind of the career can flow. So networking provides like a lot of opportunities in terms of mastering the skills around computer networking, and that's combination of a lot of things. So it can be also looking into the whole the topic of network surveillance as well. Going on to the next one, software development, relatively known, but it's a quite an area, fascinating area, which is not a lot of attention has been given for a long time, because the software development inherently has been almost like focused on build it, getting out to the business, but probably not essentially having a focus on what we call as a secure development life cycle. And that opens opportunity for source code review, testing a particular software, testing its logic, whether it can be hacked, maybe some configuration errors that essentially can result in fraud. And that offers a lot of opportunities in terms of maybe the software was misused, maybe it needs to be tested in terms of a kind of IT audit. So give some sort of opportunity, again, just to color it better in terms of what career you can kind of pursue. And then if you look into software development, you can be a auditor looking into a software, looking into how the software has been developed, whether it has some inherent security issues. You can actually do a testing on a software. So things like that. Systems engineering is a good one. Again, more specifically focused in terms of complex systems and also from the security side as well, because when you have a lot of IT systems coming together, you need to have surveillance, you need to have ongoing monitoring, ongoing effectiveness of these systems. So there are a lot of complex IT systems that needs to be built to support the business. And then engineering some security infrastructure around it is a good area as well. And there are a lot of certifications and avenues available to just pursue a career around being a cybersecurity engineer. The second last is risk analysis, risk assessment. That's a much broader view. Someone who doesn't want to be like very technical, you can then essentially focus on what does, for example, a particular IT system going down means for a business. Is there a downstream revenue impact? Is there a significant business disruption? Is there like a availability issue or the confidentiality issue at the core of it that essentially kind of needs to be then understood and resolved? And the last one is threat intelligence or security intelligence, because a lot of these IT systems, they have inherent vulnerabilities. As I said before, there are threat actors and motivations. So once you understand hey, who are the threat actors who can come after my information or my data or the source of identity or personal information I have available. It then goes to almost like be proactive in understanding those threats, understanding the vulnerabilities that sit in your IT infrastructure, and taking some proactive actions to almost like, if I have to say in a layman term, close the door. Don't keep the door open. If you know you face certain threats in terms of someone stealing your data. So threat intelligence also has become a fascinating career opportunity in the last couple of years because I think organizations have begun to understand that understanding the threat landscape is probably the first step to understand what kind of cyber attacks or events might happen, and then what kind of measures you can take to kind of protect your systems. So threat intelligence again gives a lot of pathways in terms of focusing on cybercrime investigation, more into almost like leading to cybersecurity manager and things like that. So just again to re-emphasize, you have your foundational domains in terms of, I would say, IT fundamentals or IT basics, which can be computer networking, software development. But then that spans out in terms of a lot of opportunities in terms of entry, mid-level, and advanced career opportunities for individuals. And it's quite kind of given the skill shortage and the demand in the market, the entry to advanced, particularly in terms of career transition, it's quite fast. I have seen individuals moving from entry-level career in cybersecurity to advanced in probably less than 4 years. And then if you look at traditional careers, probably if you have to compare to like a manufacturing job, you don't get progression opportunities in the manufacturing sector to like go to the next level in 2 years, every 2 years. So cyber offers that opportunity, given the skill shortage, given the demand for you to move from entry level to mid level to advanced, quite faster. And that's what it kind of it makes it more interesting to kind of consider cyber as a career opportunity today. So just kind of looking into why should you like pursue a career opportunity in cyber? What essentially is why this is an opportunity? So one, sorry about that. One, there is a technical opportunity for you to learn some hands-on technical skills, grow yourself by investing in a particular technical domain. There are non-technical opportunities as well. Particularly, cyber is very closely linked to a specific study on a cybercrime group, nation-state motivation, how the developments internationally kind of impact what's going on from a cyber perspective. So that's kind of equally important as well. The third one is there has been a massive investment in cyber as a topic, both nationally across country level, and that we'll see in India also, like in the Western world, in the UK and US. So that presents like a great opportunity to kind of grow your career. There has been also inherently a big skill shortage at all levels and then globally, and the number is kind of debatable, but they say that it can be anywhere between, say, 30 to 50 million in terms of the skill shortage that's available globally on cybersecurity. The reason is, I think there has not been a lot of investment in this area. Historically, again, people have not pursued this as a career opportunity as well. And then that almost like resulted in this skill shortage, which means there is amazing opportunity to not just get into cybersecurity, but grow super fast as well. You can get into a management job much faster in a cybersecurity job than probably compared to the other traditional careers that are available out there. The last one is quite interesting for me, and I can spend a little bit kind of focus there. Cyber presents a lot of opportunity to career transition from IT or non-IT role. So you don't have to be like, I'm a software programmer and that's what I have to do for, in terms of, career progression or focus. You can almost like decide to say, hey, you know what, I have software development background, but I can get into software security. I can get into application security. That presents a good opportunity for me. And then you can transition to a cybersecurity career because you are almost like going from software development to be like an application security specialist. And that goes for non-IT roles as well. And particularly in cybersecurity, given the complex challenges that are in hand, it's a lot encouraged to bring non-IT people also into cyber because they are able to then put their own different perspective on cybersecurity topics. So I have seen a lot of non-IT people from all domains, almost like someone like being in a reception job, being like, a tour guide, all sort of people have moved into cybersecurity careers by like, investing in themselves, doing some guided trainings or doing some courses. So it's a great career opportunity. I would highly recommend particularly pursuing a career in cybersecurity. There are different ways to kind of do it, and we'll focus on that as well. But I think from my perspective, not just students who are pursuing different domains, and then it can be any domain, to be honest, because, and then I can just focus on that one. For example, for mechanical engineering, automotive security has become a big issue. You got driverless cars in the Western market now. And the question is, how will these driverless cars be managed, controlled? Can a terrorist get a control of a driverless car and launch an attack? So you can clearly see the link between your area in cybersecurity. So it similarly applies to pharmaceuticals, similarly applies to biotechnology. So it doesn't matter what you have done, given the fact that predominantly everything is today running on IT systems, having that subject matter of your own area and then specializing into cybersecurity is a good career move for everyone. And then for a lot of people who think they need a career transition, cybersecurity absolutely offers that opportunity to move from your current role to pursue something different in cybersecurity. And I don't think there are many sectors that give that opportunity today to leave your current job and pursue something else. So how do you get into like cybersecurity? And I'm going to spend like some time there on some options to get some practical experience. Give me a second. So in terms of, again, it's quite fascinating given the fact that cyber is all connected to IT. You can pretty much start on your own. I have seen a lot of people who just learn everything sitting at their home, collaborating with people globally, and then getting into cybersecurity in terms of career opportunity. So it can be self-directed. You can learn some coding. Python is a great start. You can have built a mini lab. It's not that difficult. You can have like Linux operating system on a pen drive. You can have some VMware or a virtual lab that you can create. You can use your computer lab, of course, with permission of your professors, because you don't want to destroy any IT equipment in the process. Or you can collaborate in open source projects. But then cybersecurity, again, thanks to IT, thanks to internet, a lot of information is available. You can learn yourself if you're proficient in IT system, and then you can just simply get good knowledge of cybersecurity to pursue a particular kind of a career path. Second is the guided one, and then of course there are a lot of universities offering cybersecurity degrees, postgraduate to zoom into a particular area. As I said, it can be an architect, it can be a system engineer, and there are a lot of cybersecurity certifications, and then they cover a lot of domains. So I did CISSP back in 2005. There is a CISA as well, focused more around information systems audit assurance. So there are, and then there are SANS certifications or other advanced certifications which are hands-on. OSCP is another one which is more on hands-on cybersecurity testing or red teaming or hacking, ethical hacking as they call it. So you can do a security certification training that adds into your primary domain. So if you're software development, you can get into some certification around application security. If you're focused on networking, you can do some advanced certification on network security. So things like that. And then I think the last part is quite important for me, which is a lot of this is, and then I can share my own practical experience. You can have your own setup, learn something at your home, in your institute, in your office space. You can go for some certification. But the last leg is equally important because networking is very key to cybersecurity. You have to network with fellow professionals. There are a lot of professional groups. There are ISACA chapters in your city, your local location. There are ISC Square chapters. There are a lot of LinkedIn groups. You can join those groups. And of course, there are a lot of cybersecurity events locally as well as internationally that you can attend. So almost like trying to volunteer into some of these activities, networking is key as well, because you get some practical perspective on what essentially you can pursue in cybersecurity as an area. And then I think one of the key area that, I will then essentially, before we jump into questions, I just need to look into the time. I think we are doing quite well on time actually, so that might present an opportunity for good Q&A session. So I can run through my journey, and I think it's quite important to almost like look at that from your perspective as well, what essentially can be done. So I did my electronics and telecommunication engineering in 1999 from College of Engineering, Usmanabad. Then I came to Aurangabad to lead the software technology park more in terms of the telecommunication setup, the data center setup we had. In 2005, I said, you know what, I want to pursue something in cybersecurity. The opportunity came quite handy. I happened to go to a local ISACA chapter event. That time was organized by some professionals. And that event gave me some perspective on what is cybersecurity, what options are available. And then I did a lot of since I was already mid-career, I had done my graduation in telecommunications. I had also done a course in software development because at that point in time, it was quite a lot in demand. But then I thought maybe cybersecurity is a good career opportunity. And then I went for it in terms of doing a CISSP certification in 2005 and a CISA certification in 2006. And then that helped me get into cybersecurity career and where I am today. But then there are a lot of other things as well. I networked with people. I reached out, I asked questions, and a lot also goes in investing yourself in soft skills, because cybersecurity is technical. You will go around, you will find that a lot of people don't get cybersecurity in terms of having secure passwords, in terms of almost like, for example, if you're looking at your grandparents or people who have no IT background, for them cybersecurity or security-based practices is still a puzzle. So it also kind of emphasizes on the aspects of communication, because not everyone you will talk to from the business side. Let us take example of financial services from a retail banking side or investment banking side or a wealth management side. They will not get cybersecurity like a person from IT background will understand. So you need to then have that level of communication, their level of communication, engage with them, explain to them cybersecurity in the language they understand. So not just having a technical qualification is not just good enough. You need to have very strong communication background. You need to invest heavily in soft skills, your interpersonal skills, and then combination of both would essentially give you that opportunity to kind of progress further. So that's I would say is a good takeaway from the session today. I just wanted to kind of roughly cover the motivations, the threats, why this is a big issue, what kind of organizations that are at risk. Everybody is at risk. There are a lot of career opportunities. I just gave like an example of maybe some of them. It was not like exhaustive. It was just illustrative. And then what can you potentially do in terms of moving to cybersecurity? And it has to be a combination of self-directed versus guided training. So you can look into what's available in your current institute, what kind of advanced degree or certifications you can do. But those who don't have that almost like financial capacity to go for a training, I would absolutely say that you're just sitting at your home, you have a computer, you can do a little bit of a setup and learn like the basic cybersecurity skills at your home, do some certifications, and just like find that entry-level job that gets you into cybersecurity. So it's combination of everything. But I think I will definitely emphasize that invest in your soft skills heavily. Network. It's really important to network with your, peer community, talk to them, get that kind of insight. And that essentially kind of will set you for almost like a right career pathway in cybersecurity. And then lastly, I would absolutely recommend anyone who is in like the middle of their career, exploring some jump to cybersecurity. I will say that it's absolutely possible. You can certainly get into cybersecurity as your mid-year career transition. That's absolutely possible and it's feasible. So with that, I think I'll just close the presentation, and I hope this was useful. But I think I'm quite sure that there may be a lot of practical questions. So I'm happy to take questions at this stage.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative session. Hope everybody is now more aware about aspects of cybersecurity and the global need. So now let's go ahead with few questions from participants. I'll read those questions for you, sir. Which programming language should be learned as a beginner in cybersecurity?
Of course, I mentioned Python, which is a great starting point. And then there are essentially the scripting languages, I would say, in terms of getting yourself started in cybersecurity. That if you have an interface for almost like submitting information for processing some data, that may have essentially some inbuilt issues when you are looking into software development. And it's a long time I did software development, so I'm not going to be like academically correct in whatever I'm going to answer right now. But I would say one aspect is the code that you have built, the error handling, as you call it. How does it essentially deals with errors? And then the second is it's almost like so, and when it's error handling in a layman perspective, somebody puts very simple example. The password field you have, if it is not configured to accept certain type of parameter, can be an issue. The date of birth or other kind of numerical fields that you have, they are not configured to accept certain type of information. That may essentially result into issue. So there is a very thin line between this whole error handling and bugs. But from a software perspective, a bug can be a vulnerability, or a bug can be a backdoor planted by a software developer. But it is essentially a piece of code which is probably not, working as it is defined. But again, I'm not a software security expert, so probably I'm not the right person to give the most academic definition of those two topics to the two questions.
Yes, of course. One more question is, what kind of certification courses are available? Is there any degree or diploma program available for cybersecurity?
Sure, that's a good one. There are wide range of certifications, and then there's a huge actually range. And then if you search on LinkedIn, if you search on Google, so I'll cover certifications first, and then I'll get into cybersecurity degree and courses. One is particularly in terms of certifications, there are very well-known certifications. CISSP by ISC Square is well-known. The CISA certification by ISACA is well-known. There is a Security Plus by CompTIA, which is a basic, security certification for beginners. And then there are advanced certifications like, the forensic responder, forensic analyst certifications from SANS, which are almost quite expensive in terms of training, to be honest. So there are SANS certifications which offer the advanced certification options. There is a hands-on certification. OSCP is a good one, which is like a proper hands-on hacking exercise in a simulated environment that gives participants that certification, which is quite a lot in demand. Certified Ethical Hacker is also a good certification that has been around for a while. So there are a lot of certifications. You need to ask yourself, do I feel confident to demonstrate this experience based on what I have learned? Certification is something that some recruiters will value highly, and then if they are requesting or asking for that certification as a part of the kind of a career conversation, recruitment opportunity, look into it. But some companies, they will just look into your practical knowledge, how much you know about cyber as a topic, and the certification may not be necessary. So certifications, my basic would be, don't get too much crazy about cybersecurity certifications. Focus on one or two. I have seen individuals doing 10, 20 certifications. Does not help you, does not help put right perception in terms of, the career option as well. Sorry, go ahead.
तुमचे काही प्रश्न असतील सर?
Yes, sir.
बहुतेक म्हणजे मेकॅनिकलचे सुद्धा एक्झाम्पल
Sanju, you're on. Okay, cool. Okay, so.
Sir, should I take next question?
No. So I just wanted to conclude on graduation and courses. So there are a lot of cybersecurity graduate and postgraduate courses available globally, also in India, also in foreign universities. So you can decide in terms of, your progression aspirations, which one you want to focus on. Sorry, Amruta. Yes, go ahead with the next question.
Sir, is MS in cybersecurity worth it?
Yes, it helps. And I'll just try to be very clear here in terms of in terms of. So let us take an example. If you are aiming for a hands-on ethical hacking, penetration testing, the vulnerability research kind of a role, you can probably do with your lab a little bit of 1 or 2 certifications. The postgraduate course, yes, can add value, but not necessarily is a prerequisite. But if you're going for like some sort of a management aspiration, particularly all aspects of cybersecurity, being a cybersecurity consultant who is advising their customers on different aspects of cybersecurity, then the postgraduate MS is absolutely, I would highly recommend do that. But the point I have is don't go crazy about education. The cybersecurity is all about the practical experience, your know-how, your communication skills on how you are able to explain those concepts to business. So be balanced in terms of education. Just getting a certification or a degree on your profile, you're not going to get that break. It is linked to your practical experience, know-how, and your communication skills. So I would say yes, definitely go for a postgraduate course, but depends on what you want to do. If you just want to get into like penetration testing, hacking, maybe I would suggest get into hands-on certifications, and that can potentially be good enough for you to find a job in that area. Sorry, Amrita, we can go to the next question.
Yes, sir. It's known that there are many career opportunities in abroad, but as a person in industry, what's the state of cybersecurity industry in India, in your perspective?
So, particularly from a India perspective, we need to look into what we as a country are. So I'm from India as well, and then we are predominantly agricultural nation. We are a services nation. A lot is delivered in terms of IT services. India is building its manufacturing capability as well, with Make in India and all that. So when you look at that core capability the nation has to offer in terms of India is a big healthcare destination as well for the whole world. So the medical tourism is, as we say, it is quite popular in India as well. And then that essentially allows you to put a spotlight, saying, you know what, if we look at the landscape of India and then cybersecurity, and then you have to then get into the cyber threats motivations as well. When you look around yourself, particularly as a country like India, you're surrounded not by very friendly countries, and then they're having some wars in the past. So they are always looking for information on Indian citizens, how to disrupt Indian businesses. So that gives a lot of opportunity from a domestic as well as international perspective. When I say domestic, you got large pharmaceutical companies. Let's take an example of vaccine research. There are companies trying to produce the first vaccine out of India. I'm sure they are a target of cyber attacks as well. So it presents opportunity across sectors. So pharmaceutical companies who are based in India, they are looking for people. The manufacturing companies who have a specific kind of intellectual property they want to protect, they are looking for cybersecurity professionals. And we can't ignore the fact that India is a services country today. A lot is almost like offered from India as IT services. And what that means then is, as an ancillary product, a lot of companies in India are offering cybersecurity services to international clients. So that also opens opportunity for you to almost like be part of the Global Service Center, Center of Excellence focused on cybersecurity, which is providing the services to the industry in the West or the international community. And lastly, the startup community is accelerating in India as well. So there are quite interesting cybersecurity startups where you can actually build a cybersecurity product and make it available to the global community. So from India perspective, given the growth rate of India, the traditional market that India or opportunities that India has to offer, I would say there is a phenomenal opportunity from a domestic market as well to kind of invest in cybersecurity and transition into cybersecurity. But I would say the services part of it is very important because we can't ignore the fact that there is a huge skill shortage in the Western segment. What that means is a country like India with the population, the young population, it offers phenomenal opportunity to cover the cybersecurity gap in the global market or in the Western market today. So yes, you are in India. There is a lot to be done in India itself, given the geopolitical issues India as a country has. So there is a lot you can do as a cybersecurity professional for your own country, your domestic market. But there is an opportunity to do that internationally as well, simply because India has that manpower to offer it to the global community.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Can I take next question?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yes. How a firewall helps in protecting your data? Is antivirus have that much of capacity?
So it's it's a cybersecurity 101. The new antivirus systems, they also have firewalls built into it. Firewalls has a lot of kind of concept to it. In a layman concept, essentially the ability is to let someone in who is authorized to come in and let something out, which essentially is the kind of a right information to go. And firewalls allow you to almost like create that perimeter to say, hey, you know what? These are the kind of traffic or information can come in. These are the type of requests or access that can go out. And firewalls have, of course, evolved into enterprise-grade firewalls versus, the firewall that the antivirus product has on your system. And the antivirus is more based on a particular virus family, the signature, trying to match it based on what's associated with a particular file type. So it's a huge difference between a firewall and antivirus. But yes, a lot of the antivirus products that are out there in the market today have some sort of a firewall capacity. If you just open the Symantec endpoint or McAfee endpoint installed on your laptop and look into the options that are available for you to block certain ports, block certain traffic, you will find that there is some decent capacity available today, decent capability available today in terms of, the firewall features available in antivirus products. But it's a huge difference. Means, we can go on, but there is, I would say the enterprise firewalls are a completely different area compared to, what antivirus has. But yes, a lot of antivirus products have evolved. You can look at Microsoft Defender as well, which is built into the whole Microsoft ecosystem to provide some sort of decent capability. Yes, go ahead, Amruta, next one.
Okay, sir. Can you please specify some sites which will be better for beginners in cybersecurity?
I would recommend that spend more time on LinkedIn, get connected with LinkedIn groups, and see what they are suggesting. The reason I'm asking it is, if you go to Google and if you look into sites, there's a lot of commercial interest as well. That a particular certification would be advertised, a particular degree course would be advertised. So look into what professionals are saying, look into what professionals are talking about, and that will give you a much better perspective on what you should do in cybersecurity. So go to LinkedIn, do a Google search on top 20 people to follow on cybersecurity, top 50 people to follow on cybersecurity. Follow them on Twitter, follow them on LinkedIn, and then you will get deep insight on what they are talking on cybersecurity, what resources they are referring to, and that would be a good starting point. So there is no like a definite source on a topic of cybersecurity. Of course, there is Information Security Magazine, there is ISACA website, ISC Square website. But if you ask my opinion, the best way for me is to follow others. Just follow someone who is in cybersecurity on a Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. See what they are talking about. That will give you wealth of information on what you should do in cybersecurity. So my recommendation would be, rather than spending time on websites or trying to Google, just go to the right social media channel, follow the right people, and there are enough articles there. Just Google on top 50, top 100 people in cybersecurity to follow, and you will learn a lot more in that process rather than trying to kind of search hundreds of websites.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Can you suggest some tools for Windows operating system to create development source room?
I'm in a cybersecurity management job, so of course, like I can a little bit refresh my memory, but I would, if you have a nice endpoint or a computer, let us say i7 processor, 16 or 32 GB RAM, I would just say that the most efficient approach is to almost like build some sort of a virtual machine, so VMware, and then the basic VM player is free to download. So you can actually build something immediately on that. You can then download some essential tools for scanning or depending on whatever you're trying to go for, and then run it from that virtual machine. Because if something goes wrong, the virtual machine will crash, but then you can immediately rebuild another one. That's a much better way to do it, or otherwise, have a separate lab setup. But if you have your own machine, I would recommend you do a virtual machine using VMware, and that's much efficient way to kind of learn yourself. Of course, you can have pendrive Linux, just boot it from your USB interface and do some sort of testing, debugging, whatever you want to do. So it really depends on how advanced you are versus how much beginner you are. And then there is obviously Kali Linux, which is kind of recommended for OSCP certification. So it really depends on what you're trying to pursue. From my perspective, if you have a decent machine, go for building your own virtual machine, so that it's much easier, much safer, and then kind of solves problems for you. Yeah.
Next question is, what are the various open source software related to cybersecurity that can be available easily?
So there are a huge number of kind of open source software, plenty of them, if you want to look at it, right from firewall to security scanners. All have to do is go to sites like GitHub, where software developers publish this code. You can run that code, you can modify that code, and build your own open source software. So I would say just go to forums like GitHub, where developers have developed free software security tools. There are plenty of vulnerability scanning to firewalls, which you can almost like use and test yourself. So That's what I would say. Go to the software development forums like GitHub, and then try to kind of find information there.
Yeah. Next question is, what advice will you give to the person who wants to start his own cybersecurity consulting firm?
That's a good one. So, in terms of starting, SANS has like a dedicated course in mobile forensics. I don't have name of the site top of my head, but there are software you can use for mobile forensics. It's becoming a huge area, to be honest, because when events or incidences happen, a lot is on mobile these days. The communication is on WhatsApp. There are photos. There are a lot of kind of information exchange via mobile applications. So mobile forensic is an upcoming area, huge in demand. But I don't have name of the mobile forensic application top of my head. But I can say that there is a dedicated security certification on mobile forensics as a topic, and there are some really interesting companies doing some good work on mobile forensics, and it's a huge deal from a law enforcement perspective, also from a legal perspective, because when incidents happen, whether there is a kidnapping or any other threat, people want to examine mobile phones, people want to examine the logs related to kind of a mobile application, and then that creates a lot of opportunity, and even legal case as well. So for example, if there is a legal case between the two parties going on in a court, the mobile device becomes like kind of a important piece of evidence in that investigation. So mobile forensic is a great area. Good question. I don't know name of that software top of my head, but I would definitely say that it's a good career area to pursue.
Okay, sir. Next question is, how much is Red Hat certification knowledge be essential for cybersecurity?
So I have to be politically correct here. So generally, and this is my personal view. I'm just being like clearing it. It's my personal perspective. I'm always skeptical of vendor-sponsored certifications because they are just trying to promote their products, which is good, and the product might have a demand because, for example, Red Hat as such is a very good operating system, and then the OpenShift by Red Hat, which was essentially acquired by running a lot of critical systems across the globe. But don't go after a particular essentially certification. So don't go by something that is a hype. Focus into fundamentals. Focus into what gives you a broader perspective of cybersecurity as a top first. Once you have done that, then say, okay, which area I want to specialize in, and then try to do some advanced degree or certification in that area. Vendor sponsor, unless someone is giving it to you to free, specializing on a product certification is not necessarily like going to open a lot of doors for you. That's what I would say. I would not say that it's a bad certification or you shouldn't do it. But what I would say is don't assume that by doing a product certification you will immediately get a job. That may not be a reality. So focus more on what is the generalist security certification I want to do first to get the full view of what's available in cybersecurity, and then jump into a specialist domain. So I personally I'm quite not so convinced about vendor-sponsored certifications, and then again follow the leaders. Maybe I'm not the right example. Go on LinkedIn, go on social media. Who are the top 100, top 1,000 security people in India, globally? What did they do? What certification they did? What course they looked into? What helped them? What is their career success story? And then you will find that it's a combination of things that essentially gets you in the right place. So don't get driven by the training and certifications, and particularly the product-driven certifications. Focus more on the fundamentals, having the generic cybersecurity experience, and then specializing in one particular domain. That will probably get you in the right place.
Yeah, I guess
you can do whatever you want. So if you decide to create that imaginary boundary that I don't have resources to do what I want to do in life, you will always find some or other excuses. But then if you are having resourcefulness, you will find that, there are always ways and means to get some information, get some knowledge, get some experience, and then move forward in career. So I always knock doors. I always ask for help. I always ask stupid questions. I ask stupid questions even today. And then I look for what's available in the market in terms of making some decisions on what I want to do in cybersecurity. So that resourcefulness is a takeaway, I would say, from my session today, is make sure that you get a broader perspective of what's available, what you can pursue. There is a significant skill shortage. So go for some cybersecurity, the fundamental training, advanced training, but then at the same time, don't ignore the soft skills or the presentation skills or speaking skills that are required for the job, because at the end of the day, whatever technical work you do, it needs to be presented to someone else who is probably not so technical or does not get all the IT jargons or concepts. So the soft skill is a kind of an important focus as well. So bear that in mind. You can be sitting in any part of the world. You can invest in yourself to have a cybersecurity experience and cybersecurity as a career opportunity to pursue. So I hope that was helpful. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can. There are a lot of other influential people to follow in cybersecurity. To be honest, I'm probably not like the best one, but feel free to kind of look for the right information, and if you still have any questions, ping me, and I'll try to kind of answer as best as I can based on my availability.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Smita Ponde ma'am to deliver vote of thanks.
Thank you, Amruta. Am I audible, Amruta? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, madam, go ahead.
Good afternoon, one and all present today. I, Smita Ponde, feel privileged to present vote of thanks for today's session. First of all, I would like to thank our speaker, Mr. Sandeep Vadje sir, for accepting our invitation and imparting his valuable knowledge on the area of cybersecurity. Your contribution would be beneficial to all those who work sincerely in the field of engineering and strive to benefit the society with their efforts. I would like to express my sincere gratitude towards our beloved director, Dr. Ullas Shiurkar sir, and entire Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal for providing us opportunities to explore the avenues and improve our skills to changing needs of technological world. I would also like to thank HOD Computer Science and Engineering Department, Professor Sanjay Kalyankar sir, and all the HODs of DIEMS for extending their support to us as and when required. I thank entire CSC staff as well as entire team DIEMS who contributed with their efforts to make today's webinar successful. My special thanks to all attendees of the session for patient listening and making today's session interactive. So thank you all for your contribution, and now we conclude the session. Thank you.
Thank you.